What is NEW? It is the new economic evolution of the world. The abbreviation of NEW and the word evolution means that it is not a revolution because it omits the destructive word revolution. The term revolution refers to the following. Why does revolution occur? The upper classes are unable to live in new ways, and the bottoms do not wish to live in the old way. But there is the concept of evolution, when the tops and the bottoms can evolve together to come to new figures. Now, if we talk about the new economic evolution of the world, it is an indication of how the company may go by the way of prosperity. And society can go by the way of prosperity only in one case, when ordinary average people will participate in different programs, industries, companies and businesses, and the economy as a whole. And when they will benefit from this economy. I will give a simple example. If all of the people of planet Earth would be partners of all the energy companies of the world, and we know that the energy companies in the world over the past 100 years have made large amounts of capital, and they seem to run the world. If you imagine that all the energy companies in the world, at least 50% consist of ordinary citizens in the form of investors who can obtain monthly income. Then, if prices for oil products and energy in the world were to rise, these people would not have a problem. Think, prices have risen, which means we earn more. But what is happening in the world? The owners of these energy companies are some small number of people. And when these companies raise prices for their goods, of course, the average person suffers. The second position. Let's imagine that at least 35% of the world's people are co-owners of the global financial system, which over the past 100 years has made an increase in its capital. This is just crazy interest. For every dollar invested 100 years ago, those who controlled the global financial system in the modern times received not even $1 million, but probably $1 billion.
Финансовой системой мировой, на вложенный доллар они получили прибыли даже не $1 миллион, а минимум, наверное, миллиард.
And if 35% of the people 100 years ago would participate in the global financial system, there would be no poverty on the planet. There would be no revolutions or wars, because everyone would have a high enough income, everyone would be well. So, one of the tasks of the NEW is to give people the opportunity to be accomplices, co-owners of the most profitable enterprises and directions. And the second point, to give an opportunity to those organizations that are already in this financial system, which today are at a standstill and do not understand how to continue to make capital gains. Thanks to this technology, we can enable growth at least tens, hundreds of times in a short period of time. And thus, the balance of the world may not be 10 to 90. After all, for probably 2 or even 5,000 years, 10% of the people own 90% of the money. And 90% of the people on the planet only use 10% of the money. Every time a position shifts to a smaller side, wars and revolutions ensue. What is revolution? Terrorism? This is all due to class inequality. As soon as the level changes the other way, as soon as 15 to 30% of the people on this planet use 70% of the money, and 70% of the people use 30% of the money, then peace, grace, and prosperity will come. The goal of the new economic evolution of the world is to create such qualified, advanced, and informed investors who will understand where to invest money, how money can grow, and how they can participate in different directions. In order to shift the balance this way, 50 to 50, then 90% of the people will own 50% of the money, and 10% of the rich people in the world today will also own 50% of the money. Then the balance may be completely different. And the average person who makes money today will earn 100, 200, or even 300 times more in the new system. His standard of living will be much higher. The level of prosperity and further development of society will be much higher than today. Therefore, the new economic evolution of the world is an outlet for humanity in the development system, so that it really comes to Homo spiritus and becomes a spiritual person developing. Cryptocurrency is a new direction. It is a kind of currency. However, any currency is a system of interchange between users. Previously, people used the exchange system in a barter way. Once upon a time, when a farmer grew potatoes, he went to the market and exchanged with those who grew tomatoes and cucumbers. Someone may have sewn clothes, thus they exchanged goods. A long time ago, a measure of exchange appeared. These were gold and silver coins. It was also essentially a product that had high capacity. Due to the high capacity and value, goods began to be exchanged through this product, which was called money. Over time, it began to switch to paper money. Mankind has experienced inflation, especially in paper money, and there are a lot of crisis moments in the period of paper money. One of the unpleasant moments is when financial movers and shakers even pledged that it is dangerous to keep gold at home. It can be stolen and so on. They gave mortgages, their receipts in the form of cash for collateral for gold. And these unpleasant moments were even made with countries that accepted such collateral receipts. Moreover, there were unpleasant situations in the history of many countries. When we started moving into the 20th century, in the 20th century, electronic money appeared. First, it were card money in the form of plastic cards. This is the middle of the 20th century. And at the end of the 20th century, the new type of electronic money appeared. It was MasterCard, Visa, and American Express cards. These cards allow us to come to an ATM in any country, or to pay for any product in any country without any currency exchange. It is a very comfortable shape. And then, at the end of the 20th century, electronic money related to the internet appeared. I recall at the end of 1990 and the beginning of the 2000s, when electronic money appeared and no one understood what it was. In general, they did not understand how all this happens. And many people said, how is it on the internet? What kind of money can it be? Today, electronic money has gained a serious turn. Around the world, there is a huge amount of electronic money. In 2009 and 2010, a new blockchain technology was born, which made it possible to derive a system of exchange between users using special algorithms. And the value of this direction is that it turns out that money, or a system of interchange between users in the form of money, can be not just monetary unit, means of payment, but this means of payment can still grow in price. This is a great value of the monetary relationship between people, and thus the term cryptocurrency appeared. And basically, cryptocurrency appeared with such iconic pioneers as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Today, there are a huge number of cryptocurrencies. Probably while I am writing this interview, at least 2 or 3 cryptocurrencies have already appeared. The crypto market is a huge market in which technologies are being created today related to the system of interchange between users. Diving into the cryptocurrency market, you understand the following: that one day in the crypto business today is compared to 1 month of the internet business. And if you compare it with the traditional linear business, then probably this is 1 year. One day in the crypto business is compared by efficiency, by experience, with a year in the linear business. And everyone who is in the crypto business today is very much progressing and growing. Naturally, humanity understands how electronic money came once, how plastic cards came once. And in the same way, cryptocurrencies will come to our world. Whether we want it or not, They have already come. Whether we want it or not, they will exist. Whether we want it or not, they will develop. In any case, we will have to use this direction. Maybe even someone will not know that this is cryptocurrency. Simply, a person will receive a card already connected to a crypto system, crypto exchanges. He comes to a store or restaurant or to make some other purchases. He will not even understand that this is a cryptocurrency, but it will already be a cryptocurrency in the form of plastic cards. And in the near future, even from a smartphone you can. And these technologies are already with card accounts, such as MasterCard and Visa, and pay using the QR code in any store. And the person will not even perhaps understand that this is cryptocurrency, but it nevertheless came. And what are the benefits for those who understand what cryptocurrency is and the growth of the cryptocurrency values are? It turns out that the more users that use cryptocurrency, then there is a great demand, then it begins to grow. But it is a double-edged sword. Demand generating supply creates a bubble, inflated as in the tulip feather of the 17th century in Holland, as with real estate in 2006 to 2008, in the world, like an inflated bubble with many stocks and other directions. Exactly such a probability of an inflated bubble showed Bitcoin when it grew due to large demand and began to fall due to the fact that there were much more offers than there was demand. And today, we see that Bitcoin has gone down like Ethereum. There is another direction of the crypto system, based in an interchange system under which lies some kind of technology or assets. And when there are some assets under the cryptocurrency, crypto system, crypto program, and there is a system of interchange measures between users, then it gives, as in stocks or financial instruments on the stock exchange, a capital increase.
Как в акциях или в финансовых инструментах на фондовом бирже, есть такое понятие, как прирост капитала, показатель роста.
Why is the investment tool in the forms of stocks growing? The first is demand, but the most important thing is the assets backed up under this action. Modern cryptocurrencies are moving into a system such as STO, Security Token Offering, where trading is carried out on the exchange, and under each token, there is a confirmed share of the company, or with the declared authorized capital, with increasing and reporting that capital is growing, or with an existing asset with the possibility of growth. Therefore, cryptocurrencies and crypto systems, under which there will not just be demand but also assets, they have a very large growth potential. This is the new wave of cryptocurrencies, crypto exchanges and crypto programs that will give humanity incredible opportunities in the potential for revenue growth and the ability to receive residual income on their invested funds. What is interchange? This is a system of exchange between users. There is such thing as blockchain. Blockchain is a chain of recorded blocks. The uniqueness of blockchains, mainly decentralized blockchains, is that all the actions are performed and recorded, and this action cannot be deleted or rewritten in any way. This is the uniqueness of open business, or the open introduction of some programs, where each user of the program sees what is happening, in this case, in the direction in which he works. But I think this is a great achievement in the community, where unpleasant moments occur today in geopolitics, and in the financial sphere, in what sometimes happens with real estate, not even property. The blockchain system will have a high security potential to the participants of this system.
участников этой системы. А вот
But the system interface is a deeper thing.
глубокая вещь, которая, ну, представьте себе,
Imagine there are different directions of blockchains.
есть разные
There are different directions of crypto systems that work, and they will also need a system for combining and interacting with each other and creating an interface to these systems.
между собой. И создавая интерфейс,
This is a system that allows you to exchange between users, and this system should take into account all the interests of all these users and give guaranteed interaction for different transactions, for forwarding some correspondence, and so on.
гарантированную взаимодействие при разных сделках, при разных транзакциях, при пересылке какой-то корреспонденции, ну и так далее, и так далее. И здесь
There are very important points in security and safety in this system.
И вот,
Naturally,
в этой
the question arises what the unit of measuring of this system will be.
единица меры этой системы взаимообмена. Ну,
Well, that should be a prototype of money.
и в данном случае
In this case, the prototype of money can be a system of payments, a system of measure and exchanges that provides liquidity.
система меры обменов, обеспечивающая ликвидность, это CRYPTOUNIT. Поэтому
The crypto unit, therefore, has more than two levels to reach a higher level.
второй уровень в
The blockchain unites many systems, and thanks to the interchange systems, users can safely, quickly, and reliably exchange goods and services.
могут безопасно, быстро, надежно обмениваться товарами, услугами,
Interactions of the information are protected and controlled. We control them.
защищенных и
Only thanks to this control, there are no fraudulent schemes of operations for users.
чтобы не было
The most important point of this system of interchange between users,
самый главный момент.
one of the main potentials and the most important, plus is that in this system, many people understand other people's income algorithms.
То, что в этой системе многие люди понимают алгоритм дохода других людей. Человек, может быть, получает
A person maybe gets some kind of resource in the political sphere, let's say nowadays,
на сегодняшний
or a reporter was nothing at all, and then he suddenly releases some sensational article and receives some rewards for it.
какую-то нашумевшую статью и получает за это какие-то
Suddenly, he becomes a very famous reporter.
репортеры.
Yes, we have such scandalous bad articles there. A large number of subscribers, maybe due to some scandalous things. Then, during some period of time, everyone understands that he received special money in order to slander someone or to create some kind of media technology.
Технологии
He suddenly became popular thanks to the information that was ordered to him. He got a lot of money, and so on and so forth.
и так далее, да? Так вот, благодаря
Thanks to the blockchain system, we can see all these interactions. If a person received a bribe for making a bad article, then we will see it and everyone will see it where his honest money comes from.
то мы это увидим. И будет
The money is fair to say light or dark. This is what the acronym pursues to.
либо, скажем, светлые или темные. Ну, вот если аббревиатуру такую сделать, да? То есть
One of our colleagues said feed physical data from financially.
карма
We see in this interaction system.
когда мы видим в этой системе взаимодействия
Where does a person have money? Whether he was honest, bringing utility to society, or robbing the society to what the system is needed for. In order to understand the following, that the censor can have this money, but if they don't take this money from him, but this money will be with him.
если у него не будут брать эти деньги, то
Nobody wants to use that kind of money.
прокиснут и никто не захочет пользоваться такими деньгами. Что это даст?
This will give potential growth because people will not want to dirty their honest money by choosing such dirty money.
Такими грязными.
And for this to happen, there must be a high level of consciousness in people.
Уровень сознания, естественно, у людей, высокий уровень
High level of education, especially related to investment education,
финансовой,
in order to prevent infection of their honest money.
выражение своих честных денег, своей
Only honest money can create such good auras. One can say a light and dark aura of money.
и
And maybe you can say karma.
кармические такие,
Such karma is not just an aura that we can trace.
которые мы можем прослеживать, что вот человек либо
As an example, here is how Steve Jobs brought utility to the world.
его деньги
This money is bright and honest. Because of its technology, the whole world has received very large benefits. With its development during some time period, this technology has given a huge number of jobs.
мест, люди.
People began to create certain businesses and so on and so forth.
И вот система
The system of interchange between the users needs not only to address such a little problem,
глобальные задачи по
it also works with more global challenges. It defines definition, the possible developments of this or that direction or another one. The rapid rise of the technology, which can be, today humanity needs this technology and will gain a huge potential in the form of funding. The people who finance immediately will use this technology and earn more money developing other areas that will serve mankind, for the benefit of its creation and the creation of the world's improvement, and even greater growth in the development of humanity on planet Earth. So, we set ourselves a global goal for this system, to open fully all channels that are possible, to give possibility for every man if he wants to earn a lot of money. The man who sees real income, where everything is available, the algorithm, why does he have such a high income, for example, $100,000 a month, or $1 million per month, or maybe even 100 million rubles a month? He had written the algorithm why he earns the money. The one who earns 10,000 per month, or a maximum of 100,000 rubles per month, he has the algorithm to understand that it is necessary to form, to learn, to leave. But these are normal things. This algorithm is not necessarily associated with the business process. Today, there are people who have brought the usefulness to the world through the online broadcasting in the form of meditation. Some can be wonderful musical compositions, which are not created by people they are paying today. These people are well and earn a living, but in the modern financial system, unfortunately comes a time when we need to prove that we have honest money, that they are not fraudulent, that they are not washed, and so on and so forth. In this system of exchange between users, the interface of the system helps us to see real information on the person, and the name of the block accounts, when it is clear that the money is not stolen or made from very bad things as weapons, drugs, or warriors of destruction. From this view, this money just no one takes, and there is no demand, and thus, in the system of exchange, the rate differences, the money simply falls in price and are worth nothing. And the money of other corporations or other areas or other countries that bring more utility to this world for enterprises to improve naturally grow and enjoy demand. I believe that this is a very good system, which is a part of the logic of the new economic evolution of the world, that will allow humanity to go upstairs. Brand new development that is becoming not just Homo sapiens, wise man and spiritual man who develops himself only spiritually, and also developed spiritually the planet and helps the planet and the people on the planet to grow as spiritually, financially, and other developments that only allow you to grow and to get the most benefits from this personal growth.
What is CRYPTOUNIT? CRYPTOUNIT is a global investment portfolio. Each token is involved in a share of this portfolio, and each member of the CRYPTOUNIT program participates in a share of this portfolio. CRYPTOUNIT was created in order to give a huge number of people access to a portfolio balanced with guaranteed profitability. A simple average person is not able to create such a portfolio themselves because such portfolios need to be created from at least $1 million. And we, planning the creation of the CRYPTOUNIT, made it so that a person, even with small means, could enter the share of the global investment portfolio and to have the greatest benefit from it. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Hawks and I'm going to get through this brief presentation for SWIG as fast as I possibly can for you, as I'm mindful of your time. Please note our company is not a registered advisor or broker. The information provided in newsletter alerts and live sessions is intended for educational purposes only. Any information offered should not be considered as any recommendations or advice. Business opportunities and marketing ventures come with inherent risks. As such, should only be conducted by those willing to be responsible for their own results. Any figures offered during the presentations are for illustrative purposes only and should not be considered as any guarantee. We do not offer financial advice, and you shouldn't either unless licensed to do so in your area of residence. Only general information is given and should be noted. Please do your own due diligence or seek confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial advisor in your area of compliance for your state or country. So who are we? Well, this man right here is Andrej Khovratov. He is the CEO of Skyway Invest Group. He's a multidisciplinary investor who has over 20 years experience in multiple different market segments and making money. He's absolutely self-made millionaire. He has a beautiful home overlooking the Black Sea there in Crimea. So he actually doesn't need to be doing this opportunity with us, but he wants to share the prosperity with us. Now, he did create a company called the Academy of Private Investor, which has had over 100,000 students through it in its lifetime. Now, his courses there sold in excess of $10,000, but at one stage he did have a student come to him and offer him an opportunity, which we're going to learn about. In 2014, he did sign an agreement and create a company called Skyway Invest Group, which we're about to learn a little bit about. Now, Andre is he's pretty big on a few things. Obviously, he wants to create abundance for people. He wants to show them how they can create their financial freedom, some prosperity. He's very big on sustainability, obviously on personal development and world development, continued education, and of course, all of these come together in community. Now, as I've just mentioned, one of Andre's students from the Academy of Private Investor did bring him to an opportunity to him that he thought was quite good. Now, Andre has 7 criteria for evaluating an opportunity. Now, this opportunity did in fact score 5 out of 5 in every one of the 7 criteria, one of which is how accessible is the top person of that company. Now, this is where we meet Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky, an absolute genius of his time, and he's been working on an ecological new transport system. In fact, it goes far beyond that for about 40 years now. Now, Dr. Yanitsky was adamant that he wanted people to own this technology. He wanted the people that use it to be the owners of it. So he got together with Andre. Andre managed to get on the phone with him, and they realized they shared a few of the same ideals. So in 2014, October 1st, in fact, these two gentlemen signed an agreement for 20 years to say that we would help funding in the dream or realization of Dr. Yanitsky's transport. So the Academy of Private Investor came together with Skyway Technologies and created Skyway Invest Group, and they also created a very new paradigm in that of multi-level crowd investing. Now, you've probably heard of crowdfunding before, usually rewards-based crowdfunding, i.e. when you purchase or you help fund something to create a new prototype, then those people may or may not send you out a trinket, if you like, one of the product. Now, in 2012, Obama passed the Jobs Act, which basically meant that any business could now crowdfund for their startup venture or their business venture in exchange for equity in that venture. So it was a very, very new paradigm. Now, we've taken it one step further than that, and we've added a business model to it as well by selling financial education. Now, there's 2 ways you can look at this, 2 ways you can finance the economy. One is to always ask the bank for money, you know, the cartels, and that way you always end up in debt. Now, the second is to actually get people or get financial support through the crowd, through the fund, and give people access to the opportunities that's going to get them the most benefit. Obviously, there's a lot of power in that. Now, Dr. Yanitsky, as I've already mentioned, started his venture there in 1978 through to 2014 was the technology development. Now, what I want you to understand here is it took that long through the technology development, through a few false starts, etc. And then when SWIG was implemented in 2014, things took on a whole new life. Now, the engineering of Ecotech Park started in 2015. They did the technical documentation and everything for that. And between 2015 to 17, the park was built, and of course, demonstration and certification of the products started happening. Now, they have actually got certification on a number of products, and we'll go through that very, very soon. But of course, now we're looking at technology adoption, and we're starting to see this built in a lot of places around the world. At the time, in 2014, the IP rights and patents were valued at over $400 billion, with more than 300 MOUs, which are memorandums of understanding, signed with more than 12 countries, and it's well in excess of that now, with more than $60 million raised so far in a fully transferable technology. Now, that fully transferable technology means that it can be licensed to build in any country around the world, so it can bring prosperity back to local economies as well. And of course, not 2019 and beyond, the company is, of course, intending on heading to IPO. Now, the real sector of the economy, this is how it actually works. This is how the future is going to look. Okay, so in 2014, Dr. Yanitsky went to the crowd We handed him the money or gave him the money to be able to realize his product. Now, those people that are starting to use the technology, and we will start to see that a lot more in the next 12 to 18 months, that money or the return then starts coming back to the crowd as well, which is kind of amazing. Now, SWIG is a financial education and investment portal that offers you the freedom to learn and earn while creating your exit strategy from the rat race. Now, most people haven't got an exit strategy for the rat race. They're going to work until they die, unfortunately. So we're here to try and change that. So who here would really enjoy early retirement? I mean, you know, ask yourself that question. Is that something that you'd like to experience? What about financial security? True financial security. There's only about 1% to 5% of the world that can actually say they've got that. How about being present for all those important events, all the birthdays, all the very firsts of all your children and all that sort of thing, and not having to worry about being somewhere for a boss? In fact, being your own boss. Who'd like to have more money left than month? Because most people suffer from the other way around. They usually have more month left than money, don't they? So how about we flip that on its head and have more money left? That would be kind of amazing. And of course, raise your hand, and this is for you guys, obviously, you know, if we're in your own home right now, if you'd like to have, or if you do have a solid financial plan. Most people don't. If you have, congratulations, but if you haven't, we can assist you with that. Now, this is the cash flow quadrant. If you're not really sure of it, Robert Kiyosaki introduced it to us a few years ago, but it talks about a few things there. On the left-hand side, we've got employees or self-employed. Basically, the first one is we have a job. The second one is we own a job. And then, of course, the right-hand side is a business owner or investor. Now, this is where we start to get some leveraged income, which I think is incredibly important. As a business owner, we've got an organization that is 500 people or more. Now, that could be a multi-level organization. If you've got more than 500 people there, then congratulations. You own a system and you can leverage that and you can get paid. In fact, this week, I'm well into 5 figures in the first 3 or 4 days of the month. And that is, I haven't lifted a finger for that. That's come from residual income, and I think that's kind of important. But more importantly, the I there, the investor, that's where we want to get to. Warren Buffett said it, if you can't work out how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And working out or getting money while you sleep generally comes from our investments. So our education absolutely shows you how to do that. Our wealth creation education, it shows you how to make your money work for you, which is incredibly important. It shows you the 8 rules of the private investor, so you know what to look for, where to look for it, and what to avoid. It helps you to learn to mitigate risk with any venture, and that's incredibly important as well. And of course, even better, there's ongoing mentoring and support. Now, one of the ways we deliver our education is through our wealth simulator called the Genius of Finance. Now, this is in fact a board game. However, it is very real life situations. Now, if you're already an educated investor, you're seasoned, you've done it, then great. You can test new strategies here to see how they will work out for you. If you've never done any investing in your life, then that's all right as well, because this will absolutely show you how to do it and what pitfalls to avoid in a very, very safe environment, because you're not risking any of your own capital. So that's what we do. Okay, and you're thinking, well, okay, well, what's in it for me? Well, obviously you're going to get the wealth education, but you're also going to get co-ownership in the technology that we're helping to fund. And I think that's really, really cool. And we do that through EIP participation. What's an EIP? Well, it's an education information product. So we get our education, and for participating in that, Andre gifts you a bonus of equity in the transport or whatever it is that we're funding at the moment. So right now we are funding this transport. We're currently building up an ecotech park and a number of places around the world. Of course, we've got the future things that we're looking at. In fact, we've got ongoing projects and things that are coming up all the time that get added to our portfolio that you can obviously get ownership in. And of course, any future projects that come up later down the track. Now, whether that's with the transport or whether that's in other different sectors, it doesn't matter. We'll all have access to it through our EIP participation. So the education information product is meant right there. Now, most people say, well, yeah, but I can't really afford to do any of that. It sounds like it's out of my league. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are packages to suit all budgets. And I mean all budgets. From as little as $5 US, you could absolutely get yourself into one of these education information products. And that's kind of important as well. So the model lineup for Skyway, we're ready for mass production. There's 9 types of rolling stock currently. There's 7 passenger and 2 cargo. There's at least 5 new vehicles on the way. Now, you can share this gift with others as well. Obviously, you've got that right there. You can just stop right there with everything we've said, and you will benefit from that long term. 1, through the education, and 2, through the equity participation there as well. But you can share this gift with others right now. That's the multi-level aspect to it, and it's a very new paradigm, and you can also get paid on that. So how can you benefit? That's really simple. There are 9 different income streams available with this particular opportunity. In the future, obviously, we're going to be thinking about IPO. The company we've already said is going to go to IPO with the transport. There'll be dividends potentially coming off the back of that. And of course, then there's other opportunities in the future, like a security token offering that the company may or may not offer you later in the future, and other crypto assets, etc. Now, obviously, tomorrow there's another way that you can earn money as well. You could be a representative for the company. You could become a speaker or a coach for the company. If you've got desires to travel around the world and speak and present and train, then absolutely you could do that for the company and they would pay it. You could become a member of the leaders department or the multi-level crowd investing department. They're the ones that make all the decisions as to what happens with our company. And of course, they get paid handsomely for doing that. Big investors, obviously, if you bring big people on board that want education packages, or if you know people that would like to get projects started, then obviously there's a potential in there as well. And obviously we've mentioned projects there too. Now today, if you want to take this out today and get paid today, then absolutely you can share this with your network and you can earn money today. Now the beauty with this, ladies and gentlemen, as to any other opportunity you might see, is if you make a sale today, you'll get paid today. You can withdraw that money overnight and absolutely be spending it within 24 hours. Now that's kind of cool. There's no more money to pay and play each and every week, okay? What I'm getting at here is that most other companies, you have to pay a marketing fee to be able to use their resources and earn money. In fact, you have to pay to earn that money. You don't have to do anything like that here. It's free to play and you will continue to get paid each and every time you make a sale. Now, obviously, I've talked a little bit about the transport. One of the other things that we're talking about here is a crypto unit, and you can see that in front of us here. Now, I just want to explain the difference between a couple of things, and that's all I'm doing here is highlighting some education. When you hear ICO, an ICO is an initial coin offering. It is in the crypto space. They talk about technology. It's an idea launch. It's unregulated, so therefore it is... it does attract unsavory people, unfortunately. Or can attract that. It is crowd investing. It is open to a lot of pump and dump. So what we're saying with that is that there is a lot of whales that can absolutely, what do they do? They manipulate the market by controlling the prices. So they don't mind selling theirs at a loss so they can then buy it all up again when everyone else panic sells. It's usually on a public exchange. You've got a fund to spend it. What I'm meaning by that is that you've got to sell it to realize your value. It is have a high volatility because it is a very immature market, and they do have an 80% failure rate. So that versus an STO, which is a security token offering. Now, there is an inherent difference here. One generally offers a financial service, or the STO offers a financial service. It's a scalable business model. It's regulated, so this keeps everybody safe. Everything's very transparent. It's professional, or at least it attracts professional investors. It's for a long-term investment. They're generally done on private exchanges, or they can be on public as well. They do pay dividends to the investors, so that's kind of cool. We'll come back to that. They're low volatility and they have high stability. Now, the beauty there of the dividends is that you don't actually have to sell your tokens to realize the value from it, whereas you do with an ICO generally. So the potential of the fund, our crypto unit is in fact backed by a fund. It is asset backed. So the potential of our fund is very simple. We're in the science and high tech and the venture startup market. We're kind of coming to the end of that now, and we're starting to get into the next phase. Obviously, we're looking at a crypto exchange, launching that later in the year, and our own crypto ATMs as well. Real estate, that's a big one. Obviously, with any of the projects that we assist with the technology, with the transport technology, then we'll have to do land acquisition for that as well. But we've also got real estate inside of our portfolio, which I think is really exciting. 2018 to 2020, we're still in the process of building that now, and that won't stop. It will continue moving forward. Obviously, the stock market, we've already talked about the transport going to IPO. Well, the thing with the security token is that one can also be listed on the stock market and be traded like other commodities, and I think that's kind of cool, other commodities and securities. Now, you learn all about that in our education, and of course, we're looking to head into that sector now. Now, in the banking sector also, this is another place. Now, you heard earlier that there's, at the moment, really most people only know one way to get funding, and that is to go through a traditional bank. So by doing this, we can potentially become our own bank and take over control for ourselves, if you like, further down the track, and that's kind of an exciting proposition. So ladies and gentlemen, this opportunity summary right here, obviously we've got access to this great transport that we can all become a co-owner on. We have got access to a great financial education that can not only show us how to accumulate wealth, it will show us how to keep it, and it will give us access to the hottest opportunities. Obviously, we've got multiple different market segments inside our portfolio right there. We've got ongoing training and development for leadership, and of course, we've got future opportunities that come up and come into the portfolio and other projects, etc. So what's next? It's very, very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Register for your free account. Yes, it is free. Choose the right package for you. Learn about the products and services. Invite others online or offline presentations. That is, if you're interested in building that side of the business where you can get income today. And of course, receive referral commissions. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got any other questions, get back to the person who invited you to watch this video. I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to catching up with you at a future event down the line. Take care.
What is a global investment portfolio? This is a set of investment instruments in different segments of the investment market. There are a lot of markets. There is the stock market where stocks are traded, futures and options. There is the real estate market. There is a currency exchange market in the banking sector. There is a currency exchange market on the internet. There is the crypto market. There is the market for the development of culture and art. Now appears a new direction. It is the market of crypto systems. There are markets of insurance referrals and insurance business. There are markets of equity participation in the business. They are all certain markets. In each market, there is an investment tool. For example, if the stock market is in the United States of America, there is such a tool like the New York Stock Exchange. There are Apple stocks, Amazon stocks, Alibaba stocks, and other companies' stocks at this market. There is the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. There is the German DAX Stock Exchange. There are Russian stock exchanges, RTS and Moscow. There is the Shanghai and Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Each of these exchanges has thousands of instruments that are traded. There are tools for the speculative market. There are tools before IPO and incoming to IPO. There are tools that balance risks. However, these are all stock exchange markets. There are currency markets where people can trade currency pairs, and there are foreign exchange markets where you can enter real currency, but big funds are needed to enter the currency and have sufficiently large profit. There is the market for insurance services and insurance companies. This is also an interesting direction which gives great opportunities. And also, there is a huge amount of tools, that is, investment tools. The global investment portfolio includes all segments and directions of the investment market, with a huge number of instruments. Thus, by properly balancing the portfolio, we can get two things. First is the guarantee of the preservation of our funds. The second is profitability. It is progressively growing profitability due to the fact that we are investing in the venture direction. For example, risky but with very large increase in capital. Markets, maybe real estate, established with a small least but high liquidity, and stock exchange markets, which allow us to get fairly high returns with a virtual guarantee of returns. And it all happens thanks to a balanced portfolio. This is such a guarantee that our funds are saved. But there is an even higher guarantee that we are represented in all economic markets. It is at the market of the United States of America, at the market of Latin and South America. It is at the European market. It is at the market of Russia. It is at the market of India. It is at the market of China. It is at the market of Africa. And it is at the market of Australia. That is, all of these markets allow us to get even more assurance that our funds are protected from different situations in different economic systems. Therefore, the global investment portfolio is an opportunity to save and increase your funds at very high speed.